Now, welcome, folks. I mean it from the heart, because the greatest show is about to start. It's happening right here before your very eyes. And one thing's for sure, you're in for quite a surprise. But then nothing is quite as it seems to be in the greatest show in the galaxy. What? Hello Whovians, and welcome to my latest Doctor Who review, where today I review the fourth and final serial of season 25 of the classic series, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Once again, DVD was lent to me by Nicholas Payne. Thanks very much, my friend, really appreciate it. So, first things first, let's address something. My background. Yes, my background is a little bit different today. I have shifted rooms. Yes, in an arrangement that I had with my sister, we shifted our rooms around, so I'm now in a smaller room where I used to be for some of my earlier videos. You may notice from a few years ago, I was in a much smaller room, although it's laid out differently, so you wouldn't be able to tell. Whereas before, when I was doing my previous reviews, Sylvester McCoy, I was in the other room, and it was much bigger. So, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Well, this is an interesting story, and the plot of the story is as follows. The Seventh Doctor and Ace head for the psychic circus on the planet Sigonax, where they meet a desperate group of performers and visitors, including a self-centered explorer named Captain Cook, his companions Mags, and a biker known as Nord. The circus itself is dominated by the sinister Chief Clown and his deadly troupe of robot clowns, who organise a talent contest, in which all visitors take part. The audience consists of just a single strange family, mother, father and daughter, seated at the ringside. Although hindered by the treacherous Cook, the Doctor eventually discovers that the circus hides a terrible secret. The family are in reality the gods of Ragnarok, not to be confused with powerful creatures with an insatiable craving for entertainment, who invariably destroy those who fail to please them. With Ace's help, the Doctor ends the gods' influence on Sigonax and returns the circus to the control of its original owners. The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. Magnificent. This is not a sarcastic clap. Bravo, JNT. Bravo. You know, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy, I'm just going to say it. This story is my favourite Sylvester McCoy story so far. Yes! To me, this is an instant classic. This is an amazing story. I was floored by the whole thing. What I love about the story is the atmosphere. The fact that it is just so creepy. It is scary. This story actually disturbed me slightly. All the clown makeup and everything involving the circus is very dark and trepidatious. You just feel totally on edge, like you're walking on eggshells when you watch this story. I think it helps that the story itself is really strong. And I really like the idea that they are actually performing to these gods who just want to entertain. Basically, it's life or death through entertainment. And if you don't entertain, you die. I mean, the design of the gods themselves is very basic, but at first we don't realise they are gods until the very end of the story, which I think is interesting. We see Sylvester McCoy do various magic tricks, and he gets himself embroiled in all of that to stay alive. This is just a fantastic story, and the script is written by Stephen Wyatt, who does an incredible job keeping the tension going. This is what Doctor Who should be. Tense. I mean, I think making this story a lot darker than the previous stories in the season, I think really, really helped. It is actually really quite freaky. If you're afraid of clowns, you might not want to watch this straight away. There's a lot of clowns in this story, so if you do have a phobia of clowns, maybe this isn't for you. But I think on the basis of horror, it nails the horror elements completely, and it tells a good story. Honestly, this is one of the best ensemble casts of any Doctor Who story I have seen so far. They are amazing. I think the villains are terrific of the story. The villains are incredible. you've got Captain Cook, who is not revealed to be a villain at first, but once we get to know who he really is, he turns out to be a nasty piece of work. The ringmaster who does this rap, which I did try and do at the beginning of this review for you. He's quite good. And then there's the chief clown, played by Ian Reddington. He is freaky. He is scary when he does that evil smile. And you can see, obviously, the makeup on him. And the scare factor is definitely up there. In terms of the allies, the supporting allies, we have got Mags, who's played by Jessica Martin. She's excellent in the story. She gives a fantastic performance. And it turns out she's actually a werewolf. And we get to see a scene where she's in the ring and they shine a moonlight on her and she transforms. That did confuse me slightly, because it's not the actual moonlight that shines on her. It's just light that forms the shape of a moon. Considering it's not actual moonlight, how does that make her transform? Maybe I'm reading too far into that, but I did find that a little bit confusing, but I'll forgive it. The transformation is really freaky, and when she does transform, her face goes green and her hands go green and she gets these long nails and claws. It's really quite freaky, and Sylvester McCoy really displays the fear there. We've got other supporting members like Bellboy, played by Christopher Guard. He's quite good in the story, though he does spend most of the story tied up. He's captured, but in the second half of the story, he does get a bit more to do. And there's also Nord, who's the biker. He's a bit rude at first. He's quite rude and arrogant at first. He treats Ace like a piece of shit to begin with, but he turns out to be quite a decent character, all things considered. And there's this other character called Deadbeat, played by Chris Jury. He also is very good. We also have, in terms of the villains, I forgot to mention, there's also a sort of robotic conductor, a bus conductor, who says, tickets please, but it's actually it's a deadly, fierce robot that tries to kill people if it doesn't have a ticket for the show. Which is also very creepy. Again, I can't sell it to you any more than the story does. It is honestly fantastic. Everything inside the circus ring is so good. It's so well lit as well. It's very dark and intense. Some of the effect shots are slightly dated, but again, I'll forgive it, because the imagination of the story is just there. And when the Doctor eventually meets the gods, he ends up in this sort of Roman Colosseum looking place. And again, the magic show that he puts on is very good. Although I don't get the point of the spoons. I just don't understand what that is with Sylvester McCoy. Him throwing the spoons around. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I also believe that the music is much better in this story, and it's directed superbly. The story is directed by Alan Waring, and wow, he does a great job. It moves consistently at 4 parts, it never drags. Sophie Aldred is also fantastic as Ace. She gets a lot to do, she gets heavily involved in the action here. It's magnificent. If I have any flaws, it would only be that one moment, like I mentioned, with the werewolf, but aside that, this is a thrilling story. It is so scary, it is dark, it is intense. It really is the greatest show in the galaxy. And it is quite funny in places as well. Like, I actually quite like the rap that they do at the beginning. I just wish that more of the McCoy era was like this. I really do. So overall, I really enjoyed this story, and I am definitely going to give this story an easy 10 out of 10. Yeah, this story actually blew me away. I was amazed. So, that concludes my review of the greatest show in the galaxy. And to finish up this review, we of course have to do the mini ranking. Which, of course, because it's the end of the season. And once again, this is purely just subjective. This is just my own personal list. I'm not saying this is how you should do it. This is just my own list. To kick it off, number 4. Silver Nemesis. Number 3, The Crappiness Patrol. Sorry, I just don't like that story. The Candyman. Number 2, Remembrance of the Daleks. And number 1, The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. So that's my ranking of Season 25, purely personal, just my own list. Please leave yours down below. Before I go, the season as a whole, Season 25, well, it is a improvement over Season 24, to say the least. That is for sure. It's not perfect. The way I see it, it's very uneven. It's 50-50. You've got two great stories, two crappy stories, so yeah, it really tips the scale. I don't like Silver Nemesis. I don't like the Crappiness Patrol. I really like Remembrance of the Daleks. I love The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. So it's a mixed bag, but I think it's much better than the previous season, that's for sure. So that's really all I have to say about it, and McCoy definitely got better in this season, and actually Ace is a great companion, a great addition to the show, and I look forward to seeing their relationship grow further in season 26, which will be the final season of Classic Who left to review. It's hard to believe that I've almost made it to that point, but yeah, next time I'm going to be reviewing Battlefield, which is actually the very last appearance of Nicholas Courtney as the Brigadier in this show. Very sad indeed, but let's hope he goes out on a good note. Yeah, I really, really like this story. Again, please leave your thoughts of the season down below, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Stay tuned next time when we delve into season 26, the final season of Classic Who, with Battlefield, which is also Sylvester McCoy's third and final season. So until next time, thank you all for watching. I'm Mr. TARDIS11. See you soon. Bye for now.